Hello once again, and back to our favorite subject. I just wanted to try to take at least probably all of this session just to give you a sort of a sense of a feeling for the confusion that is growing and growing and growing about all this security stuff. And that confusion, I know. I know what the source of the confusion is. The source of the confusion, this is always the case with pretty much anything that's confusing, is it, well, we don't have nobody's invented a language to talk about this topic in. So none of the words are well defined. The same words seem to be used in, just arbitrarily in totally different contexts, but not so different that they couldn't possibly have another meaning associated with something similar. And then, of course, it's a complicated setup. The way all of this works is complex. Like, chemistry is complex, I would say. It's a difficult subject to study. And in chemistry, they have specialist words, so that they can speak precisely about what they're talking about. It wouldn't be any good just to say, that there looks like I don't know, like that green stuff. That green stuff. I mixed it with some of that orange stuff, and I got something kind of purple, and it smelled a little bit rotten, or something like that, right? You're not going to get very far and learn very much about chemistry if those were if your language was limited to like your feelings and your sensations. You have to be able to speak specifically, and they have developed this a language that is very specific. And I don't mean the language of the structure of the molecules or whatever, but I mean the language in which an observation is presented, where you don't know what's going on, but you can describe in full accuracy what it is that you're observing or defining or whatever. Now, my background is in physics, and so I'm used to the original. The first thing usually in any physics book is, well, first a little background, and then the second part will be the definitions of the terms being used as precisely as can be given, and then going on to talking about how the various things interact. Same with mathematics. I also studied mathematics, and it's the same way. I even went looking around through some books I had to find examples. Maybe I'll show you. I have some in the tray here. Some examples later on. And see, now I've come back to this flag again. And this sentence, which I thought at one point, well, at first I said I didn't know what the hell this stood for. And then I thought I knew what it stood for. And now again I don't know what it stands for. Because the language is being used, and the same words are being used over and over again in different scenarios. And I found this article online that attempts to shed some light on this flag. Okay. Now, first, let me just say that originally I said I'm going to assume strictly that the language being used is English. Okay. And there might be ambiguities, but still it's English. Now, I read this sentence. The SID, okay, now, SID is a member of this struct, see? So therefore, the SID must refer to the SID member of this struct. Okay, we got that far. Is a deny-only SID, okay, in a restricted token, okay? Now, this says is, right? It doesn't say might be or maybe or could be or anything like that. So this is that. So therefore this is a deny-only SID. Okay. Now the question is it all of this part included? Is the SID equal to all of this, or just this, maybe that, or is it all true? Now I think the only way you can interpret this is English-wise, that it's all of it. Okay? Even if I don't know what this restricted token is, and I'm not sure if I do, the number, okay, well, the object here being referred to is a number, an identifying number, and that identifying number is of the category deny only within restricted token. That's how I would interpret that in English. Correct? No, I mean, I might be wrong. So that it follows, therefore, if that were true. It might not be true, but it would follow then. If you ever see this element, if you ever see this flag in a token group structure extracted from a token and having this flag, then the token must be of type restricted token, right? Because it says here that if any one of these particular group things has an SID with attribute deny only, then it must be a deny only SID in a restricted token, and so therefore the token must be a restricted token. That seems to follow. Okay? I'm going to show you later why this now makes me confused, because Hang on. Okay, well, let me just first start with the definition of SID, because if we don't get that straight, we certainly can't read this correctly. Now, definition of SID, I can look it up again. Security identifier, a data structure that identifies a user, group, and computer account. Okay, so it's an identifier structure, and the thing which it identifies is a user, a group, or a computer account, whatever that is. Every account on a network is issued a unique SID when the account is first created. SIDs are used to control access. The process of comparing an SID to a resource security descriptor that specifies which SIDs can use the resource. Now that sounds pretty quick. Okay? See, this should be and whatever. Okay? So now that seems clear. Okay. Now, so this thing, which is an identifies something, either a user or an account or a group, right? And it has the property. Now, the identifier itself is just a number. So numbers don't have properties. I mean, that's just a number. See, already the wording is becoming, it's going by implication. You can't say that an identifier has a, this is just a number, has a property, like deny only, right? There's an implication here, and the implication is not that the number is of type deny only, but that the thing that it identifies would be possibly of type deny only, but that certainly can't be true, because it identifies groups and accounts and users, if I remember the definition, and neither of those things, as far as I know, have the property of denial. My account or my logon, or myself, my identity is not of a denying nature, right? I don't think so. I'm granted this number. This number was given to me, or was assigned to my account, and I don't think that my account, maybe it can be like that. So this is identifying a deny-only account. Could be. and a restricted token. But I think what it really is trying to say is that the entry itself, this thing, is the thing that has the property of being deny only. That is, the SID attribute structure is a deny only SID attribute structure. And that structure is residing within a restricted token. The tokens themselves don't contain security identifiers ever on their own. It's always in this combination. So this combination is therefore has acquired a meaning of its own. Okay, so there should be a word for this. Instead of making up a new word so that we know what we're talking about, they just use the same word that they use when they're talking about an account or a domain or an anything. Sometimes these values, these numbers, refer to logon sessions, right? Yeah, in that case, those things don't even have. Well, maybe they do, but you couldn't say that a logon session on its own is a deny only logon session. What would that mean? However, if you combine a logon session identifier with an attribute, then you would have a new object which could have that meaning. So it's unfortunate they haven't defined a new word. It stopped using the same word to mean two different things so that I can read these sentences correctly. Because I believe that I've read this incorrectly and I have some evidence to back that up. Now, firstly, I can point out in my token, okay, this is now this process command exe is running another process and printing out its token. So let me just be absolutely sure. No, actually I can use Process Explorer. I'm going to find out the process of the program command. Instead of running another process and having to make a guess, I want to see what that token information function returns for this process, not for some other process that it launched. Easier to find it this way, I think. And now it has a search box. Okay, here it is. 4052. Now PS toke here can take a process identifier and print it out its information. Okay. Now here are those here are those things, those unnamed SID plus attribute structures. Now, the first one has this value. These are the ones that appear when you list what's called groups. Now the noise has started. Now, okay, I'm printing them out. Now, I added, this used to say disabled, okay? And I changed it. And I didn't mean to change this one on purpose, but I saw my own name in this list. And I know I'm not a group. So, and it was disabled, and I figured that, well, obviously I'm not disabled, you know, it's my own account, so that therefore it must, if this comes up disabled, it must not be a group. Now I'm not sure about that anymore. Now again, here's the same sort of list. It's supposed to show those token group SID attribute structures in two forms, non-restricted and restricted, whatever that means, but it's tied in with, definitely tied in with this definition. Now, you shall notice here that this here, built-in administrators, which I'm pretty sure that the built-in part of this is not the administrators that are built in, but that this group is a built-in group. Has that flag, right? Going back to this structure, now these token group things are the same ones that are returned when we call here. Where is it? The one I'm just calling now. Okay, groups and privileges. Okay. And it's SID and attributes. And that leads us to the same definition. Okay? So whatever was said before is still holds. So now in this token, now hang on, let's just make sure. That's this one I clicked on, which is the list that I'm listing right now. So this has to apply. The SID is a deny-only thing, whatever the real name is, in a restricted token. Would imply, therefore, that that token is restricted. Right? Now this one is weird. Now I'm still saying not a group, because this one is disabled. And then there are some other things. And that's for as far as the process that is being run here, command.exe, cmd.exe, that's the token that it has. So therefore, I shall conclude, using the English language, that the token being held by this instance of command exe is a restricted token, and I have to hit pause because of the noise. I might have to double this up anyway. So I just I just pushed play and it stopped. Okay, let me just finish this line of reasoning. I want to make sure that the left-hand side, okay, at a minimum, is being equated to this entire description, not this part. It's not clear though. It's not 100% clear. Definitely, if we're talking about SIDs, then it doesn't make any sense, right? Because the SID of that this token has as its owner, for instance, is the same SID that this token has as its owner. So those two SIDs are the same, and if we were to say that the number itself is a deny of type deny only, then that would have to be true for the number when looked at from this point of view, and false for the same number looked at from this point of view, and that's a contradiction. So therefore, it's not the number that is deny only, it's something else. It's this something else that is of this type, and it's within something called a token. And that object of this type is of type deny only, and it is within a restricted token. I don't think you can say that it may not be a restricted token. But hang on. Okay. Alright, so we have to pause here on this sentence and look at this. Now I'm going to pause again, and I'm going to read through this and see if I can understand what it says. Okay, stop for a... No. Well, maybe the noise reduction thing might work. I just wanted to tell you that I read through this, and I believe I understood what it said, but regardless of what it said, this is the way to simply find out yes or no the answer to that question without having to make any deductions or interpret the text. And I've done that. I recompiled the program. I added the call to that function. Now I can call it from both sides. Call it from this side. The token is not a restricted token as far as the process. The process token, this process, similarly, nor is the token of the process being launched by this process. Now I'll go back to the help button and let's look at it again. The SID is a deny-only SID in a restricted token. Now we know that that token is not restricted, but we have one of these in its groups, right? And in particular, in this set of ones being listed, okay, non-restricted SIDs, one of them contains that attribute. That SID is a deny-only SID in a restricted token. I have to conclude, therefore, that this sentence actually says the SID would or could or might possibly be whatever this is, a deny-only SID. Well, I'll have to take them at their word with the is. So it is a deny-only number. Okay, let's take it completely literally. The SID, now the SID in this case is this number. Okay, so writing that out in just search replace. Nope. Okay, that's the search replace. So this particular number is a deny-only security identifier in a restricted token. So therefore, it follows that this number, were it in a restricted token, would be of type deny only. That's the only way I can think of interpreting that English. So it might possibly mean this. Because we haven't found it in a restricted token, and it's got this flag, and this says SID, it doesn't say anything else. That's the SID being referred to, and I'm taking it literally, is a deny only. So this is the purpose of this number is deny only. Now, it's not in a restricted token at the moment. So the only way I can think of to interpret this bit is an if. Like, if this was true, then this number would be deny only. Right? Seems to make sense. Okay. Now that's true for this one. Now let's see if that's true on this side. Built-in administrators. Now this one doesn't have that flag. Well, it's not in a restricted token. I doubt it. Just double check that that's not a restricted token. No, not a restricted token. It doesn't prove that it's, that if it were found in a restricted token, then it would be a deny only thing. So maybe it could be. So now all we're left with is a theory. What we need is to make it restricted, at least. We have to verify, A, is this a special property of this number? Because it doesn't have, in these two scenarios, in one scenario it's given us some more information about that number than in this scenario. This one hasn't told us anything about that number in particular, but this one did. So the question is this number is not within a restricted token, so definitely we're talking about just the number itself. It has that property, so therefore the only way to find out any more about what that sentence says is we gotta create a restricted token and see if that's true. Okay? Now, I can't stand the noise. It's driving me crazy. And I have many more questions, and I've made a whole bunch of users on my machine, and I've tried different things. People with different privileges, restricted accounts, and whatnot. And I've managed to make that flag come up again. Here are all the things. Okay? And the flag came up with my personal SID. Okay? Not any group or anything. So that means that my SID, if this translation is true, then my security identifier is for the purpose of deny only, were it to be found in a restricted token. Okay, I'm going to stop here and upload this question for you to think about, and find some earplugs or buy a handgun and kill myself.